fan-driven Razorback talk. For the fans, by the fans. This is Inside the Hawg Pen with your hosts, Razorback Zach and Marcus MC Carlson. What's up, everybody? Welcome into an all-new episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. I am your host, Razorback Zach, joined by my co-host. Look, I can't find my hat, MC.
It's messing with you. Hang on. I got you, bro. Here.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah. Hey, I dropped it. I got it.
There you go. All right.
Buddy. Oh, my goodness.
That didn't look right anyway with you not
right.
having a hat and me having one on, so.
Oh, okay. Now I feel better.
Much better.
Oh, all right. Welcome into Inside the Hawg Pen, everybody. I'm your host, Razorback Zach, from the Central Arkansas Hawg Pen, joined by my co-host, cohort, and all-around glue that holds the whole damn thing together, Marcus MC Carlton. All right, now that we've got a crisis averted, MC, how you doing, buddy, first off?
I'm doing as good as 2 and 3 will allow me.
Man, hey, we've got a whole show ready for you guys, so make sure you share this thing, because here's the thing, y'all, the gloves are coming off tonight. We can no longer be middle of the road, and it's not going to be me. MC went to Dallas, and he's got some things he's got to get off his chest. But before we do, we got to take care of a little bit of business first. If you guys want in on the action, leave us a question or a comment on the Hog Wild live fan feedback, and then leave us a review while you're watching the show. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us when to shut the hell up and just go away. That's not going to happen, but go ahead and tell us. We want to hear it. All right, MC. So I did a little bit of research, and it's time for our new segment. It's called Bacon Bits, and it's kind of just little nuggets of information. All right, so here's your first little bacon bit. The Hogs have returned an SEC-leading 3 interceptions for touchdowns this season, one shy of the program's most interceptions returned for a touchdown since 2016, with 4. Through 5 games, this is your second nugget. Through 5 games, the Razorbacks have recorded a league-high 11 takeaways, including 7 interceptions. Arkansas's turnover margin, which is +6, ranks first in SEC and 10th in all of FBS. How do you have a defense like that, but you're 2 and 3? 2 and 3.
Well, I mean, normally when you have takeaways, that contributes to wins. And when you lead the nation in it, I don't know that I've ever seen a team lead the nation in turnover margin and be 2 and 3 after 5 games.
I have. It's the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Well, just now, I mean, other than the obvious.
So, with that being said, I got a couple of new sound cues we're going to play here.
Let me talk to you.
Oh, no! We suck again!
There's no easy way to say it. There's no easy way to say it. Now, the Hog Wild live fan feedback's already kicking up. And Dylan says, excited to see MC take the gloves off. And then Chuck Pendergrass is pleading with us. Hey, guys, let's not have a depressing show. Please talk about anything but football.
There is good news. It's not football related, but hoops started tonight. Matter of fact, it's going on right now, but you don't have to worry about it. You're not missing anything because there's no radio coverage. There's no live stream. If you're not there, then you're out of luck. You'd have to pretend it's 1978. You'll have to read about it in the newspaper tomorrow.
Or just, see if we can get you some updates.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we can, maybe we can get some live tweets coming in. So
maybe JG says, can you see my chats? JG, yes. We can see your chats, my friend.
Yes, we got you, JG.
And then fellow Razorback fan and buddy of mine, Chris Shaw says, okay, what's the topic, boys? Funny you should ask. MC, dude, you went to Dallas.
Yes,
saw it firsthand.
Had an amazing view.
Time to take the gloves off.
All right.
What did you see? Give it to us.
Well, I'm going to soften the blow a little bit, and I'm going to start with the good stuff first. So this was my first trip to Jerry World. And Jerry World lives up to every bit of the hype that I've heard about it.
Yes, sir.
It is. I've been to a lot of stadiums over the years between Razorback games and working on Coach's Show for A-State for a couple years. I mean, I've been to some big places. I've been to Georgia. I've been to Virginia Tech. I've been to
you went to Big Blue Nation here not too long ago.
Yeah, and I went to Texas A&M. I went to Kyle Field. So that's, I mean, I've seen some pretty good atmospheres. Nothing compares to Jerry World. It's just unreal. And then add on top of that, I went with my uncle. You've heard me mention my uncle before. He's the one that took me to my first Razorback game way back in the day. Only fitting that I go to my first game at Jerry World with him. I don't know what kind of voodoo magic he pulled off, but we sat 5th row behind the Razorback bench.
Holy crap.
Oh yeah, dude. We were walking down, and I mean, you talk about feeling like a high roller. We just kept going down, and I'm like, oh my God. Matter of fact, the play where Luke Haas got hurt, literally right in front of me. Like, I knew as soon as he went down, he immediately popped up and was holding his shoulder and like cringing like crazy. I'm like, oh, that's not good. But Jerry World is everything it's cracked up to be. If you want to go look at my Instagram, you can look at some of the videos I posted from when I first walked in, and it's just absolutely amazing. The crowd, they only announced about 60,000 there. The acoustics in there made it sound like about 85 or 90,000. I mean, it got loud.
So Katie and I had the opportunity a couple years back to actually tour the stadium. She did it for my birthday one year.
Awesome.
And I stood on the field, stood on the star. It was great.
That's
but
cool.
But the downside is it was an empty stadium. So I mean, it was a different aspect from what you got. But
yeah, I mean, that first hog call, I mean, instead of participating in the hog call, I'm videoing it because I'm an old video guy. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, it sounded like you were in Razorback Stadium. I mean, it was awesome. Everything was set so perfect, man. And then they kicked the ball off.
All right, so let's get into the gameplay. And one stat that stuck out to me was Arkansas. Well, there's a couple of stats that stuck out to me, but Arkansas had 56 total plays. That's it. 56.
Yeah, total offensive snaps. Yes.
The problem is 15 of those were lost yardage. 15. Yeah. That's almost 30%.
Yeah, it's like between 27 and 30% is what the quick math tells me. You're never going to beat anybody if basically a third of your offensive snaps end up in a loss. And there's multiple reasons for it. There's a couple guys on Twitter that I was looking at today that are kind of breaking down play by play. And some of it is schematic issues and some of it is offensive line issues. Our own DMAD pointed out to me, he tweeted me the other night, or no, he texted me the other night and pointed out to me, he said, there's a specific play you need to go find. He said, it's 11:05 in the third quarter. And so Arkansas has a tackle and a guard that pull around to go in front of the running back.
Yep.
And I don't remember which one of them it was, but it's one of your offensive linemen, okay? Either manual. A tackle or a guard.
It was a guard. It was manual.
It was a guard. Okay. The pulling guard in that play got put on his backside by a safety.
Dylan, if you're watching, Dylan and I talked about this earlier today. He used a word, and I just died laughing. I think it was mollywalloped.
Oh, yeah. And that's very fitting. I mean, that's very fitting. I mean, he got completely put on his backside by a 185-pound safety. You're talking about an offensive lineman. I don't know. He's got to weigh close to 300 pounds, if not over.
So
that's a problem. That's a bad problem.
It is. It's a very bad problem, NC. The Hog Wild Life and Feedback is kicking into high gear tonight. Dylan says the good stuff made it back safely. That's it. Marvin Wilson.
Yeah.
Marvin Wilson. By the way, congratulations, Marvin Wilson and Ashley Wilson, on the birth of their brand new baby girl.
Oh,
my niece, Olivia Grace. Very, very beautiful, pretty little girl. Congratulations, you two. And we've got royalty in here tonight. The number one fan of ours and the cancer ass kicker, Casey Sutton's in here. She wants to know, MC, has the wheels totally fallen off? I'm going to go ahead and say it.
You want to play the soundbite? Does that answer you?
Oh no! We suck again!
I mean, Miss Casey, it is not looking good. It is not looking good at all.
If we get, I'm gonna say this too. If we get dominated on Saturday and completely ran out of Vaught Hemingway, yes, the answer to your question is yes. It has. My other half's in the building. Katie says only good thing we did was a game with no penalties against us. You can't blame the penalties. You can't blame the penalties this week.
You have, I mean, the thing that has been the biggest obstacle to this point in the season leading up to this game, you eliminate that. But, now I will say this, you can't get called for holding if you don't attempt to block. So maybe that was the mindset. I don't know. But
Loki DeWitt says, our statistician's in the house. He says, do you think the fact that Petrino being on the other sideline had any bearing on it?
I mean, we all know that guy's a genius when it comes to calling offensive plays.
Yeah, but I didn't think he was going to I didn't think he was going to do this, but
I think the only thing that came into the only way that he really directly wanted to rub salt in the wound with anything was that final play of the game where they tried to score with 3 seconds left. And honestly, I have no problem with that.
That's the word.
Mollywopped. I have no problem with trying to score with 3 seconds left. You don't like it? Stop it. And we actually stood up and stopped it, for one of the few times on the day.
We did, but why wait to the end of the game to do it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sam the Pun Jones is in the building. Says, I still say Sam is in trouble because I have seen the same issues all season without a single in-game adjustment. I don't give a damn how nice Pitt is. He can't coach a designer bag.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good line. That's a pretty good line.
Oh, that is great.
That's a pretty good line. I made a whole page of notes today just on my thoughts from this game.
That's the thing, dude. You don't make notes.
I don't make notes. Usually I shoot from the hip and I just roll with it. But I made a page of notes because there was so much that I wanted to make sure I talked about from this game. We've talked about the 15 of 56 plays in and a loss. Yeah. You had one pass play in the entire second quarter. One. Why? No, it's not like your running game was running over people.
But you only had 50 yards in the second half.
50, yeah, you had 50 yards in the entire second half.
So
now
I'm gonna ask a hard. Go ahead, MC.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna break something down. Your offense scored 7 points in the whole game. You're not going to beat anybody if your offense only puts up 7 points in the whole stinking game. I'm trying to be PG tonight because I got my assistant up here with me, and he's got tender ears. So I may get tongue-tied at time trying to keep things very, very PG.
I got you covered. Don't worry.
I see. Yeah. So if you see me talking to somebody off screen, I got my little one with me tonight. So he's helping things out. So your offense scored 7 points, but they also allowed 7 points. Okay, that's a wash. Your defense scored 7 and allowed 20. Now, 7 and 20, okay, that's a net loss of 13. But if your defense holds a team to 20 points, if they only give up 20 points, you got to like your chance of winning. The problem came in is that the special teams allowed 7 points, offense allowed 7 points. That's another 14. I mean, that can't happen.
No, and it can't. But here I'm going to ask the hard-hitting question here.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get back to the Hog Wild live fan feedback here in just a second. Why in the hell are we going for it on 4th and 1 from the shotgun?
Well, I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious that we don't.
The first time.
We don't. Well, okay. So I have a theory on this.
That's scary.
I have a theory on why we continue to go gun run when it's short yardage situation. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, whatever.
MC, it was 4th and 6 inches.
Yeah. Yeah. And we back up 7 yards in the shotgun and make it 4th and 7.5. So my theory on this is that this staff has rabbit ears and they're listening to too much of the noise that Pittman said they were going to block out. And they are so hell-bent on showing the fans that they are smarter than the fans that they will continue to line up in shotgun on short yardage situations just so they can prove how smart they are. And then when we finally do convert, you're going to have a 2023 version of that was a called play, Chuck, and I called it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, okay? When they lined up on that play, and I showed Katie this. I walked her through it step by step because she wanted to know why with this. Here's what I thought I was going to see. Normally, and I haven't seen one of these happen like this in a long time, but this is the way my brain goes. Normally, I thought they were going to line up in the shotgun and do one of two things. Okay, first off, I thought they were going to try to draw A&M off sides to get the first down that way. Didn't work, so he looked over to the sideline. I thought they were going to pull something like he starts in the gun, runs up under center,
right,
and gets shoved in it,
like we have seen KJ do before.
But they didn't even pull that out of their hat.
Well, and so here's another problem that I had with going for it on fourth down in that situation. If you remember, it was 4th and 6. We punted. There was a penalty on A&M during the punt, defensive holding or whatever it was. I don't even remember now, but it was 5-yard penalty. We had the option to decline it and stick with the punt. The punt was a really good punt by Fletcher. It would have pinned A&M at about the 20. Instead, we go for it. We fail. They get it at the Arkansas 42.
Yeah, I think they get it at our 42-yard line.
Yeah. So I don't understand. Pittman has said that he doesn't think that we can get it from going under center. If you look at Twitter, War Machine, the guy that does all the highlights, all the highlight videos,
he proved it.
4 different instances where KJ has lined up in the gun the last couple years, and on one of them he got 4th and 3 against Alabama. I mean, so why do we suddenly not trust? He said what he said was he didn't trust KJ under center like that to take the snap. He's done it before. I don't know why we can't do it now.
Let's go over to the Hog Wild live fan feedback. Loki.
Yeah, feedback's blowing up on us.
Loki says, have the wheels fallen off? No. Are we headed down the road on flats? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair enough. JG from YouTube says, no, they haven't. I'm telling you right now, we match up well with Ole Miss. We have enough defense, and Ole Miss defense is not good. They will make our own line look good. I see another game similar to LSU. I hope not, because I want to beat Ole Miss, because it's the first time we beat them in Oxford since 2017.
Yeah, I'm headed down this weekend. So, I mean, if I see a game like the LSU game, I'll be entertained.
If we go 0-2, you're not allowed to go to any more away games.
Yeah, I'm done after this one regardless. Right. So,
Sam Jones says our coaching staff should have been called for holding on Saturday because they definitely withheld common sense play calling and adjustments. Oh, my God.
Preach.
Sam's coming in tonight.
Preach. Sam's coming hard.
Dylan says one pass play. All the others were sacks.
Well, I mean, that's fair because by the time KJ was getting this, and I'm not blaming KJ for all this, but, I mean, good Lord.
Chuck Pendergrass coming in with probably the comment of the night. I heard the people handling the water did a great job.
Water sucks. Gatorade's better.
Dennis Gamble. I think Dennis is a new fan. So welcome, Dennis. So. Welcome, Dennis, to Inside the Hog Pen. Says if Arkansas continues to play at this level, we might get invited to the Hooterville Rutabaga Bowl to play against Arnold Zeifel's Bacon Bits. All right, that's funny.
That's pretty good.
Jonathan Parker says because LSU has a better quarterback. Not.
I looked at a stat. Speaking of better quarterbacks, so we all saw the hype in the preseason about Jaden Daniels or KJ Jefferson. Which one's the best quarterback in the SEC? Do you know, as it stands right now, through 5 games and three SEC games, KJ is not in the top 10 in passing yards in the SEC.
Not exactly where I thought you were going, but let me add to that.
Okay.
You don't have a top 10 passer in the SEC. Right. You don't have a top 10 rusher in the SEC. And you don't have a top 10 receiver in the SEC. Something is not working, and nobody gives a damn to try to figure it out. They're all like, oh, well, we got this and we got that.
Oh, well, our guys are good, and we're going to fix it. And, I mean, just the doubling down by the coaching staff.
Kind of makes me remember good old Joe.
I was so frustrated. And I'm telling you, I'm telling you, if we convert a short yardage situation from a shotgun play this weekend, y'all hide and watch. That'll be the first dadgum thing that is mentioned in Pittman's post-game statement.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. And put this into perspective for you, all right? Missouri is 4-1 and ranked.
Yeah.
Okay? 4-1 and ranked. And I think Vanderbilt's got a better record than we do.
I'll have to look. I don't know.
Okay.
I got a comment here from JG I got to throw in. JG, it's a buddy of mine from he's up in near Brad Staten's territory up in Colorado.
I'm sorry, JG.
KJ is a quarter read quarterback. He fits the spread, hurry up, no huddle, zone read offense is perfect. He is not the Enos quarterback that must read the defense before the snap. That's not his game. 100% agree.
He's an improviser, not a progression guy.
Well, and so that leads me to this question. If you're Dan Enos and you're coming in and you're seeing a guy like KJ, you've obviously seen the film, you know what he can do. Why, on everything that is holy, would you not cater your offensive schematics around his strengths rather than trying to force the square peg into the round hole and make your quarterback adjust his game, which he has proven to be successful in? He's proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was very successful in what fits his skill set. Why would you make the man change his skill set to fit your offense?
See, here's another one that I want to touch on. Of course, some of these are great. We're going to try to get to all of them during the show. Brad Staten says, I'm afraid KJ is hurt and no one is talking about it. Here's the thing. How long can you run with the, he's hurt. Oh, he's hurt. Rocket may not play this Saturday because right knee management. Where have we heard that before?
Rocket, he was definitely not full speed. I mean, I made the comment to somebody else that
he's legit hurt, but
right.
We don't know. Again, it's like, and I'm comparing apples to oranges. I know it's in the past. You can't do anything about it. I know, but still, I still have bad thoughts about it. Katie says they only care because he's breaking records, but it's not worth the shit if you suck.
I mean, that's right. I mean, okay, so funny she mentions that because late in the game, there was a point where it was a dead ball. So I assume that TV was off at a commercial, but they took a close-up shot of KJ, framed it 2/3 of the screen to the right, and then put a graphic up on the left because apparently he set 2 records on Saturday, the most touchdown responsibility and something else.
But here's the thing, MC. Those records don't mean a damn
exactly
thing if we go 2-10.
Well, and once KJ figured out that the camera was on him and they were highlighting these, I mean, if you have ever seen a death stare, like, okay, you're a kid, you're messing up, you continue to mess up, your dad tells you to stop and you don't stop, and then he shoots you the death stare. That's what KJ was shooting into the camera. It was like, get that blankety blank camera off of me.
Casey Sutton hits it right on the head. They won't let KJ be KJ, and I think he's pissed. I think you're 100% right. I think you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Here's a comparison for you, okay, about the whole records thing. Don't get me wrong, all right? It ain't KJ's fault, all right?
Right.
It ain't KJ's fault. But let's go back to 1998, all right? Great season. But nobody remembers how great it is because of one thing. And what is it, MC?
Sterner stumbles and fumbles and lost the ball.
Nobody remembers how great that season is because of that moment. Nobody's going to give a damn about KJ's records because Sam in his 4th year went 2-10.
Well, and it takes away from everything KJ has accomplished to get to this point. It takes away everything he's done. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it is just so frustrating. And yes, Mama Casey, you are spot on. KJ is ticked because I was sitting close enough that I could see it when he came off the field. I was close enough I could read his body language. And his body language is not that of a guy that believes in his offensive line right now. And why in the world would he? Because they've let him down time after time.
I said it in the preseason. I'm going to say it again. Dan Enos is not the answer.
I wasn't here. So, I mean, it's easy for me to sit here and say now that I wasn't on board with the hire, but I wasn't. But I fell in line like a good little soldier, like you're supposed to do. And I'm like, okay, well, he did work
I
with
never
Brandon
did.
Allen.
I
fell in line. I'll own it.
It's the first time,
Chuck
it's
Pendergrass.
the first time MC has ever eaten crow this season. Everybody mark that down. All right. Because my time's coming. I'm just telling you, my time's coming. Chuck Pendergrass says, I saw KJ come off the field several times after not making a first down, and he was pissed and mouthing off. Yeah.
And he wasn't. Here's what you didn't see on TV. He wasn't the only one that was mouthing off. There were several. As the game got later and later and the offense struggled more and more, there were several, how should I put it, passionate discussions between teammates as they're coming off a field. And it was kind of one of these deals about, they weren't necessarily pointing the finger at each other, but there were a lot of hand gestures and doing this. And it was very, as I said, a very passionate discussion amongst offensive teammates about, I can only assume, assignments.
Well, but at the same time, okay, here's my issue, and we're about to jump into this because I've got my own opinion about this. Did Pittman go over there and rip into anybody, or did he drop an F-bomb?
Yeah, I saw him sit down with the offensive line a couple times while the defense was out there, but I mean, it wasn't.
What did he do? Sit down and hold their freaking hand?
No, I mean, he was sitting down and talking with them, and it was, I mean, for him, it was animated. It's nowhere near the animation we've seen from other coaches in the past.
Here's my issue, MC. There's a video that came out, I believe it was from Hog Beat. From practice earlier in the week. Okay? And everybody knows the video I'm talking about because it's all over social media.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Sam's getting after it. Sam dropped the F-bomb. Sam dropped the F-bomb. They're getting after him this time. He's working with the O-line. Guess what? It doesn't mean a thing. That is not getting – look, all right. I have to be careful because my mother is watching, but I'm going to say it. I drop the F-bomb regularly. There, Mom, I said it. I'm shut up, MC. I drop the F-bomb regularly. It's just part of my vocabulary. I don't say it around my mother, though.
It's a military thing.
It is. Just because he said it doesn't mean he's breaking his foot off in somebody's ass. It does not matter.
Right.
Everybody needs to chill out.
I got to go back to my boy JG here. He's hitting the nail on the head. Retreads never work well.
Nope.
That's 100% correct.
You blow a tire.
100% correct.
Sam, oh my bad, dude. Which?
That's okay. I was on. Here you go. I'll go back. D-Mad. I think Rocket looked good in his 5 carries. 5 carries. Yeah. The best he looked was on the screen pass where he gained about 35, 36 yards. But shortly into the third quarter, he had a noticeable limp as he was coming off the field. And then, as you noticed, we saw more Debinion. AJ Green did not play until the second half. Apparently, he injured himself in practice last week, and so that's why he saw very limited action. And then you saw the freshman come in, 23 Gustafsson or whatever his name is.
Augustov?
Yes. Adolf, Augustov, whatever his name is. Yeah. He didn't do much because I can't remember his name.
Yeah, right.
But
there was one.
Here's Sam's comment that you went to.
KJ hasn't wasted his senior year. Hell, he's had 3 already and is probably eligible for 2 more. None of these records mean crap when you're 30 by the time you graduate. He's not Stetson Bennett, y'all. He's not Stetson Bennett.
He's on the Stetson Bennett plan.
Give him a little bit. Give him a little bit of time. All right. Give him a bit. Not time. Give him the benefit of the doubt.
The difference in him and Stetson Bennett is Bennett's got weapons to work with, and apparently KJ can't stay protected to get the ball to his weapons.
Right. Dan Yoakum, I hope I said that right. Dan Yoakum says, Pittman makes me want to fall asleep listening to him. How in the hell can he motivate a team? How in the hell can he motivate? How can be motivator team?
Spit it out, Zach.
Well, I'm just trying to read the comment.
I know. I'm reading it too, yeah.
Attitude reflects leadership. KJ is mimicking Pittman's behavior. Doesn't look like he wants to be out there. No fire, no desire. O-line couldn't block a junior high team, and the defense gives up big plays one after another, especially on third down. And then, of course, Loki's, Zach's
I'm
got
going to cut KJ a little bit of slack because I'm not sure how much fire I would have if I'm having to eat dirt on every single play.
Well, and Sam Jones kind of elaborates on it. He says, might not even be the O-line. Anus has the longest route trees I've ever seen, which leads to holding blocks too long and KJ holding the ball too long, leading to sacks. And I'm going to touch on this one, not because she's my other half, but she makes somewhat of a point here. If KJ doesn't want to play, then sit down and let someone else try. I don't even think at this point Jacoby Criswell can do anything behind that line.
I think you could put Tom Brady back there and you're going to have the same result.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's necessarily quarterback play because if you look back, there were a couple times in this game where he actually had ample time to find a receiver and throw the ball. And one of them was dropped in the end zone and the other one was caught. It was both by the same guy, Armstrong. And I'll say this, for as terrible as we played, that dropped touchdown in the third quarter by Armstrong, to me, felt like the dagger to the heart because you got the pick six coming right out of the half. You come out, you stop them, or you get a fumble. I don't remember the sequence there, but you got the ball back. You've got all the momentum. You throw the ball deep. It's a beautiful pass. Couldn't put it in his breadbasket anymore. And some people were saying that the ball was tapped at the last second. I didn't see it tapped. I thought he just alligator armed it.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. Carolyn Williams says it has completely stalled out. I think we need an overhaul.
I don't disagree with that at all.
She's got a point. But MC, we got to take a quick break. We are at our halfway point of the first segment, so we got to go pay some bills real quick. When we come back, we're going to continue our discussion about the collapse in Dallas. You're watching and listening to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this. All right, welcome back to Inside the Hog Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Razorback Zach hanging out with you alongside my buddy Marcus MC Carlton. Continuing our discussion about the collapse in Dallas on Saturday, and I promise, guys, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to move on to Ole Miss, and MC has his first official School of Hog Hoops this evening. Plus, we're going to get into some of the other Razorback sports because there's a lot of accolades that have come down this afternoon that I just got from Loki, our statistician. And so football is going to go on the back burner while we highlight some of the other sports at the University of Arkansas. But let's go back to the Hog Wild live fan feedback. Sam Jones says, we keep saying O-line, but let's be honest, it's our tackles who suck.
Yeah, it is. It's the two tackles, and this was a concern in the offseason, but it was hyped up that they'll be ready. You got the best offensive line coach, you've got the guru as your boss Hog, and he'll get everybody ready, and it just hasn't happened. Yeah,
Carolyn says we just can't produce in the red zone. I agree. I mean, it is what it is, though. I mean, at this point. Sam Jones says, if I'm being honest, Andrew Armstrong is the best wide receiver since Treylon Burks, and KJ grossly underthrew him on a drop touchdown.
Now, he did underthrow him, but where it hit him, I mean, if he's as good as Treylon Burks, he's got to come up with that catch. Treylon,
excuse me, Treylon.
I will say this. We saw all this highlight film and stuff of Isaac Tesla when he was, when he transferred in. I don't mean this disrespectfully, but there's a reason that the guy that was playing D2 ball, he can't get any separation. And when he did, the one play where he got separation on a slant route and could have had about a 30-yard gain, the ball wasn't precisely on target, but it was close enough. It was catchable. He should have caught it, and it should have been a 25, 30-yard gain.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just –
I want to go over a couple things because everybody keeps harping on these post-game press conferences and Sam Pittman's comments and of this and that. I want to put something in perspective. And MC gave me these stats earlier this week. So credit MC. These are not my numbers. MC did the research. In years 3 and 4, all right, Pitt is 8-9 in 3 and 4. All right. To give you a little bit of perspective, Mike Norvell has been there at Florida State longer by 1 year for Sam Pittman, and he's 14-3 and ranked. Lane Kiffin, 12-6, hired the same time as Sam Pittman, 12-6 and ranked. Brian Kelly, year 2 at LSU, and he's already won the SEC West, been to Atlanta, and he's about to do it again probably for the SEC West.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those were conference numbers, by the way.
Those are conference numbers. All right. Lorenzo Robinson, good friend of the show, go check his show out. He had to bring it back. He couldn't just sit on the sideline anymore. He had to bring his show back. It's called Keeping It Real with Lorenzo Robinson. He said something earlier this week that kind of alluded to something that Sam said in his early press conference when he was first hired.
Yeah. So I was watching his show. I believe it was Sunday night or Monday night. I don't remember now. After all the traveling I did last week, my days kind of run together.
Dude, you were in like parts unknown all week last week.
Hey, I figured it up from Thursday to Sunday. I drove over 1,300 miles.
Woo! No.
But he brought up Lorenzo Robinson, if you know the name, former secondary defensive back, I believe he played for Coach Nutt.
Yeah.
He brought up the point that when Sam was hired, he made comments about, and I've got the quote. Hang on. Let me pull this up because I want to get this right. Where'd my screen go? Well, this is riveting here, waiting on me to find this. Okay, so he was talking about when Sam Pittman was hired, and he talked about Arkansas. We were going to get back playing Arkansas ball. We were going to be physical. We were going to be fundamentally sound and blue collar. Physical, fundamentally sound, blue collar. How many of those things are happening right now? This many.
Well, but he also said in his opening press conference that the days of Arkansas being a national embarrassment are over. And I hate to break it to you, but
oh no, we suck again.
Losing to Liberty last year, instead of a proud damn state, we were an embarrassed damn state.
I mean, it is. I mean, that's to put a bow on it. I don't have much faith. I don't have much faith in Ole Miss this weekend, and we're gonna go ahead and preview it as we move along here. Arkansas 2-3 at number 16 Ole Miss, 11.5 point favorite. Saturday night under the lights on SEC Network. It's their primetime game. I believe their main crew is calling that. Cole Kublik, Tom Hart, and Jordan Rogers, I think.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure about color guy, but I mean, here's the thing. Arkansas had 174 yards total last week.
Yeah.
Total. Guess how much Ole Miss had against LSU?
Like quarter of a mile.
730.
Yeah.
730
yards. Oh my God.
300 plus on the ground, 300 plus through the air.
I did watch the tail end of that game. I watched about the fourth quarter was what I got to see by the time we got back to the hotel after we went and ate and did some running around and stuff. But I got to see the fourth quarter, and defense was optional in that game. It kind of looked like a 7-on-7 game at times that they were they were just moving the ball up and down the field. It reminded me of the 2021 season when Arkansas went down to Ole Miss and ended up in overtime and lost 52-51 or whatever.
It was
53-52, whatever.
It was 52-51 because we went for 2 at the end of the half instead of sending it to overtime.
Yeah. So it reminded me a lot of that game, and it was one of those deals of whoever had the ball last was going to win. And if you watch that final play in that game, dude, LSU was like this close to the guy catching that pass.
Yeah. So here's a little bit of trivia for you for the Ole Miss game. And MC and I were talking about this prior to the show. in our little pre-show meeting that we have to make sure we get our timing and everything
my
right.
bad.
This should be more of a rivalry than the Ole Miss game or the Missouri game. Okay, here, listen to these numbers. Arkansas has a 38-28-1 record over Ole Miss. Over Ole Miss. All right. Now, they've done something similar with Ole Miss that they did with LSU, and they've played in 6 different cities. 6. All right. The given ones: Fayetteville, Oxford, and Little Rock. Here's those records: 13-2, Hogs. Oxford, 8-6, Ole Miss. Little Rock series is tied 7-7-1. MC and the fans. MC, you can't answer until the fans do. Can y'all name the other 3 cities that Arkansas and Ole Miss have played in?
Okay, because I saw one of those games in one of those other cities.
But here's the thing. With these numbers, this needs to be a rivalry game.
Yeah.
Take away the battle line, put a trophy game on this, and you had the name for it before the show. What was it?
The Delta Diamond Bowl.
Make that thing a diamond.
Where are you at, David Basil? Get us a Delta Diamond trophy.
Hey, Loki, we just answered it. All right. The Delta Diamond Bowl. Can you imagine the trophy case having the diamond-shaped trophy and the golden boot next to each other? It looks a hell of a lot better than the freaking battle line.
Dude, that battle line trophy is ugly. It's as ugly as the forced rivalry.
Don't get me wrong. I love David Basil to an extent because he's a former Razorback. No, I'm kidding. He's a cool dude. Likes to talk a lot, but he's a cool dude. Here's the thing, okay? That needs to be a rivalry. Now, nobody has been able to give the answer, so here it is. They've played in Memphis, Jackson, and New Orleans. Here are those records. 8-5 Arkansas in Memphis. Jackson, the series is tied 4-4. New Orleans, 2-0 Ole Miss. The rivalry speaks for itself. That is a rivalry.
You know, even back in the old Southwest Conference days, Ole Miss was a regular non-conference foe. I remember, a couple games. There's a historical game that happened in Little Rock that Ole Miss actually won. Arkansas got stopped on the half-yard line as time expired on what would have been a game-winning touchdown. I mentioned that I had seen one of the games in one of the other neutral sites. 1995, Danny Ford's the head coach. He took Arkansas to their first SEC title game. I was there when they beat Ole Miss.
Before my time.
Okay, well, not mine.
I mean, I was around.
Right.
I was like 4 or 5 years old at the time. But
just drive that knife a little deeper. But Arkansas wins 13-6, and the reason they won was because with about 3 minutes left in the game, Madre Hill broke a run, I believe, off the left side of the line, and as soon as he hit the hole, you saw what made Madre good, because this was pre-knee injuries.
Yeah,
Madre had those afterburners, and he went 80 yards in what felt like about 5.5 seconds. I mean, it was unreal. My first taste of true SEC breakaway speed.
Here's the thing. When you've got the Razorback Foundation and the Ticket Center calling season ticket holders, asking them if they need and want more tickets, it's not a good sign.
Yeah, we saw some of that.
Dan,
we saw some of that on Twitter.
Dan, if I'm butchering your last name, please let me know. He says, I'm torn. I don't know if I want us to win because we might win a few, but then we're really going to go back into a slump and eventually lose again and potentially drag out this coaching staff for another year or two, or do we want to just keep losing and kick this coaching staff to the curb as soon as possible? What are your thoughts?
That's a really good point. I mean, that's a tough question because, the competitor in me wants Arkansas to find a way to turn this around. But if they let's say they turn it around and they get to 6-6, okay,
freaking
guaranteed no staff changes will happen at 6-6. Okay,
I disagree.
I don't think if you get to 6-6, nothing's changing before next year, in my opinion.
No, I disagree. Even if you get to 6-6, I think Cody Kennedy's gone, especially after the hatred and shit that he's caught this year.
Well, I would like to see that. But I just don't know, man. If you turn it around,
I think Pitt and Enos get at least one more year together.
Okay,
because
so
it's a new OC. All right.
are you talking about if they turn it around and get to 6-6, or are you talking about regardless?
Regardless, I think Enos comes back next year because he's got a clean slate with Jacoby Criswell.
Okay, I will throw this question out there then.
Okay.
Year 4, let's say they finish 4-8, because I think 4-8 is a legit possibility, because I think they'll sneak up on somebody in the conference and get a conference win, and then you beat FIU, and that gets you to 4-8. How in the world can you say that you are striving for excellence in the SEC and you bring back a coaching staff that goes 4-8 in year 4? How can you do that? Because those two statements don't match. And let's not forget what Yurchek said when he was hired in, and he was talking about contracts and stuff, and he was talking about he wants contracts to be incentive laden. The more you win, the more you make. And he believes that, a cause for firing with cause, losing is a legit reason to fire with cause.
Okay.
If he brings back this staff after a 4-8 season, I got to question his statement. I'm done preaching now.
No, you're good. I get it. It was under a different regime, and I get it. It was a different time frame. But what was Bielema's record his 4th year?
I'd have to look.
But again,
13, 14, 15, 16. It would have been 2016. So 2015 they went 8-5. 16, I'm pretty sure they had a losing season.
I rest my case. He kept.
Okay, yeah, he did. He got one more year after that.
He got one more year after that. Not to mention, and again, you're not going to fire a coach the year after he hires on a new OC. Okay, I don't think. I don't see it. I think he gets one more year.
But golly, man, if they go 4-8 or 3-9, I mean,
something. But the thing is, something has to happen. Something, regardless, at the end of the season, has to happen. And I'm hoping he goes and he throws money at an offensive offensive line coach that's actually worth a damn. Because if this is the best we can do after replacing Brad,
well, I mean, you would have thought when Bryles left, he would have went and thrown money at a big name offensive coordinator, but instead he goes and hires somebody he's familiar with and that he's worked with before, in Deputy Enos Strait. Tyler Ringo comes in, has got a good comment, and he agrees with you. He says, I don't think they fire Pittman at the end of the year regardless. JG comes in, and I agree with JG here. There are some coaches on this staff that I would hate to see leave. Yes,
wait a minute.
There are a few. That.
There was one. Where did Carolyn's comment go? Because I'm going to caveat off of hers real quick. With the year after year being derailed by injury, have we looked at the training staff and the warm-up? Here's the thing.
Brand new strength and conditioning coach.
And can't keep his wife off of freaking Twitter. It's the night of rants, y'all. It's the night of rants. Here's the thing. If you've been here 7 months and you're jumping on Twitter in all caps telling fans to go off,
that's not going to end well.
It's not going to end well for you. And then you're going to go protect your tweets. You've been here 7 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't going to go there, but
I went there, and I don't give a damn.
Since that Band-Aid has been ripped off, look, I understand she's going Tammy Wynette. She's standing by her man. I get it. I understand.
But calling the fans out, MC?
But you don't call fans, especially when you're in the midst of a 3-game losing streak, you don't call the fans out. Because these are people that have been spending thousands of dollars, investing countless hours of time to go and watch this team. They were doing this long before you came around, and they're going to be here long after you're gone.
Do you know how much the seats cost in the north end zone?
They're a pretty penny. I know that.
The seats, right where the team comes out.
Yeah,
I think that whole section's like $1,500 a seat.
Yeah, and that's on top of the mandatory donation that you have to give.
And you're gonna come in, and I get it. You're standing up for your husband and the team. I get that, but the way she went about it, they are going to roast you alive.
So let me throw this question out there. you are a coach or you are the spouse of a coach. Your team is in the middle of a 3-game losing streak, an ugly 3-game losing streak,
which could turn into
which
5.
could easily turn into 5. Why are you even looking at this stuff on social media? Just take your little phone, delete the little app off of your phone, and then you go drink your wine with your book club mamas, and y'all talk about anything except football.
Here's the thing.
Okay?
Wait, I got one better. All right, and we'll get back on track. This is just how we do things at Inside the Hawg Pen for you guys that are new to watching. Do you think Miss Terry has a Twitter?
No.
Do you think Saban's got one?
He's got one, but he doesn't know how to operate it. And here's the other thing. If Miss Terry did have one, do you think she gives 2 rats behinds what anybody is saying?
No. You know why? Because she's going to let her husband do his job.
Well, and the other thing, now it's well known that Miss Terry runs the ship at the Saban household. That's
Boy, she got after him this weekend.
If that was not clear before this weekend, it is clear now.
It is.
But even in that situation, if she got on Twitter and started ranting and raving, Nick is going to pull her to the side and say, now, honey, you need to calm down. And he may not put it, he may put it that nicely because I think he's just a little bit scared of Miss Terry.
A little.
He's going to, there's going to be a very important discussion between husband and wife and be like, look, thank you. I appreciate you having my back. But this is not how you need to go make your Tammy Wynette stand. Okay. We saw Ramona Heath do this back when Stan Heath was a basketball coach here. And that was before social media was even a big thing. And she was just doing it in public and it did not end.
Kevin Edward wants to know, by the way, good friend of the show, really good friend of mine, says, how much would firing Pittman cost the U of A? More than they're willing to pay right now.
I saw the number, and I don't remember the number, but I do remember this.
He's slated to make $6 million this year.
Okay, but at the end of the year, if his overall record is below 500, the buyout gets cut in half. Now I don't remember the exact amount, but you cut it in half.
I don't remember either what it is.
I want to say that would take if he's below 500 at the end of the year, and let's face it, he's going to be below 500 at the end of the year. Then I think it's going to be around 4, maybe 5 million. I don't remember exactly. I saw the number, but I don't remember it. But it cuts in half, and then after 2024, it's going to go even less. Chris Light, you don't get to go from
9. I think he says 9 wins to 3 wins.
9 wins to 3 wins in 2 years.
Yeah, there it is.
I agree with that, man. We're 2 years removed from 9 wins. Could have very easily been 10. And a bowl victory over a blue blood of college football in Penn State. How do you go from 9 to 3 in 2 years and keep your job? I'm with you, Chris. I'm with you 100%.
Tyler Ringo, that name sounds familiar.
That's one of my dudes, man. That's one of my dudes.
I think I follow him on Twitter. I think
probably he's a good follow. He's a very good follow.
I think they give Pitt 1 more year strictly because of buyout purposes.
Probably.
With it being said, if the 5th year is anything less than X amount of wins, you need to retire. I agree. I just
yeah. No, I can't.
I feel like I've been lied to with the whole national, not being a national embarrassment because I'm getting Chad Morris vibes off this team. Unfortunately, I mean it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean there are some things. I mean it definitely looks like a Chad Morris offensive line to this point.
So give me the keys to the game, MC, about this Ole Miss game coming up Saturday night. What do we? I mean. I know what we have to do. I mean, you can't blame the penalties this time.
No, I mean, that problem has apparently been solved. 0 penalties last game.
The play on the field was a complete 180 from what it was against LSU. Mm-hmm. This was terrible. I mean, it wasn't just, dang, that was a off game. It was garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage. But what does Arkansas have to do to somehow get back to 500?
I don't know. I don't know. You've got to figure out a way to execute on offense. Now, what that means, first off, you got to give KJ time for plays to develop. Honestly, what I would like to see is, and I know that making huge changes in the middle of the season is a recipe for disaster, but I think at this point, KJ and Enos need to sit down and have a talk, and Enos needs to go to him and say, okay, look, what are you comfortable with? What do you want to do? And then maybe try to adjust some of the scheming to where it fits his skill set better, because we're not trying to fit his skill set at all, in my opinion.
Well, here's okay. So when going into the year, my thought was that they were going to give KJ a play,
right?
A called play on the field, and then give him 2 or 3 plays after that to kind of audible out of.
I don't think he has any freedom to audible at all.
He doesn't. He does not. You know,
I've not seen him audible once this year.
I am almost to the point where I'm hoping KJ gets on the field and goes, to hell with y'all. I'm calling this game the way I see it. And it's just it. I know that goes against everything KJ stands for, but I mean, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do?
I don't know.
You know, let me go over to Hog Wildlife and feedback. Keys to the game: score more than Ole Miss. Thanks, Brad. That must be Air Force thinking. I'm just kidding, brother.
I will say this: I do like the matchup of our defensive line and their offensive front. I do like that matchup. JG coming in strong tonight. Just another can of worms to give an extra year and firing Enos and Kennedy. What coaches are going to risk coming here, and the quality of coach will be, you can read it. I can't say it because I have little ears with me tonight.
Quality of coach is just going to be shit.
Yeah, look at Burt's last year. That's spot on. I mean, and coaches are not dumb. I mean, if they give them one more year after coming off of a 3-9, 4-8, they all are going to know that they're lame ducks, and you're going to end up with a season like Burt's last year, and also like 2012. Everybody remember 2012? Everybody on that staff knew they were lame ducks.
Smile.
When it went off the rails like it did, everybody started, it was an every man for himself. They were fighting over lifeboats to get off that sinking ship. You're going to see the same thing again if that's what happens.
And that 2012 team had talent similar to this one.
There was some talent. There was a lot of talent on that 2012 team.
Let's see. Keep the comments coming, y'all. We appreciate it here on Inside the Hog Pen. Carolyn Williams says, win in big, bold letters. Win.
A win would do a lot to
But here's the thing.
calm the fire a little bit.
Will it?
Temporarily, yes.
Will it? I mean, because I was thinking about this earlier today. We could go 2-10, maybe 3-9 with the win at FIU. I don't think we've got what it takes to beat Mississippi State and Florida down the road. If we continue this losing streak, if, and you get to Florida and Mississippi State and still cannot win, okay?
If you can't beat Mississippi State,
well,
okay,
let me back up. Let me back up because I got confused for a minute. If you get to there and then you win Florida and you beat Ole Miss or you beat Mississippi State, is it too late? Is it too late in the season to go, hey, look at what we did? We beat Florida. We beat Mississippi State. We beat FIU.
For me, yeah. For me, it's too late.
Everybody keeps saying
the fans. No,
everybody keeps saying, winning changes all that. If you win, you forget it. No, you don't. You just came off a 6-game losing streak.
The masses will. If you,
math is hard.
If it gets to 6-6, a lot of this will be forgiven by a large portion of the fans. I don't know if it'll be a majority. I think you're going to get to the point where it's a 50-50 split between, they got the 6-6, but they suck, or you're going to have the Rainbow and Unicorns crowd talking about going back to the Liberty Bowl yet again.
All right, before we go to break and switch things up, we're going to put a cap on football because I think we have beat this dead horse for another week. Give me your score predictions and a hot take, MC.
I think this is a high-scoring game, but I don't think Arkansas has enough executable plays on offense that they can keep up. I think this ends up 44-28 Ole Miss.
I'm not even going to ask for a hot take because that's just out of the question at this point. I
can't. I don't have one. I'm all hot taked out.
I'm gonna go a little bit further, and I'm gonna go 56-3 Ole Miss.
56-3?
I don't think we've got what it takes, dude. After what I saw against A&M, I don't think I gotta agree with Dwight Williams or Dwight Raleigh.
So no junk scores, no garbage scores late. Wow.
No.
I can tell you this right now: if it's 56-3, I will not be sitting there till the end of the game.
Nah.
I'll be headed back to my hotel.
Not me. Hey, when we come back, school is in session. We're gonna be talking Hog Hoops with MC
that
on the other
puts
side.
a smile on my face.
On the other side of the break, you're watching and listening to Inside the Hawg Pen on the Sideline Radio Network. Back right after this. That sound means school is in here on Inside the Hawg Pen. Welcome back, everybody. It is now time for MC School of Hog Hoops. MC, take it away.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Hoops is officially back. We had the red-white game tonight. The red-white game has concluded. Your red team is your winner by a score of 88-70. Here are some leading scorers in the game. Jeremiah Davenport, the transfer from Cincinnati, leads his team with 19 points. He was 6 of 10 on field goals, including 5 of 8 from three-point range. That's nice to see. And here is what I would call the shocking stat of the night for me. Overall leading scorer of the game. Who would you think it would be? Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but
no, you're good.
Did you have Joseph Pinion on your scorecard?
I was going to go him or Devo.
Okay, all right. Pinion led all scorers tonight with 20 points, 7 out of 8 from the field, 3 out of 4 from three-point land. Devo Davis, 13 points, 5 of 7 from the field, including 2 of 3 from three-point land. All in all, now the one bad thing that did come out of this is that one of your projected starters, Khalif Battle, he's the transfer graduate senior from Temple. He apparently injured his ankle in warm-ups and was taken to the back. They put a boot on him, and he come out on crutches. Now, not time to freak out yet. He probably just twisted his ankle or something. He's got 33 days to get right before actual play starts. If he misses the Purdue game, not a big deal.
Does that count the Purdue game coming up?
No, the Purdue game is coming up at the end of this month. It's the off week for football. The 28th is when the Purdue game is. But 88-70, 158 total points. Kind of like to see that. I like what I see from the three-point shooting. You got 5 of 8 for Davenport, 3 of 4 for Pinion, and 2 out of 3 for Devo. That's just what's coming off of that's courtesy of the Twitter account for Hit That Line Arkansas at Hit That Line AR.
During the break, I saw a video that somebody had shot from the game, and Bay Fall can shoot.
Yeah, Bay Fall had a couple 3-pointers as well. How about this? Chandler Lawson, the transfer from Memphis, had 10 rebounds. So that's good to see. L. Ellis, the transfer from Louisville, had 6 assists on the night. So,
so if you had to give me your projected starters going into the season, now I know they're probably gonna change from non-con to conference in January. We know that. Late December, early January.
Right.
So you got Devo.
Yeah, well, you had two potential starters in my book that didn't even play tonight.
Okay.
Trayvon Brazile did not play because they don't want to risk anything with him before the season actually starts. He's coming off that torn ACL.
Right.
He should be fine by the time the regular season starts, but they weren't going to risk anything with him tonight. And then also Battle, the guy that I was telling you about that got hurt in warmups. I think that's 2 of your starters right there. Khalif Battle, Trayvon Brazile, and then I'm going to go Devo. I'm going to go Jalen Graham and Mekhi Mitchell or Jeremiah Davenport. That's actually 6 guys, but I think you could see, and we know what Muss is going to do. Muss will have probably 7 or 8 different starting lineups before we get to conference play that starts in January.
Yeah, and I agree. Since you're on dad duty, we're going to shorten the show just a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're going to do a little bit of Razorback sports update. Check this out, MC. Volleyball. We're going to talk volleyball, soccer. I mean, we're talking to everybody right now. Nice. Volleyball ranked 13th in the nation, overall record 13-2, and I believe their only losses came to number 1 Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Yep.
I think.
Yep. I think that's right.
They're 3-0 in SEC play. Their next game is actually going on tonight. Started about an hour ago against LSU on SEC Plus or ESPN app, whichever you want to say. Soccer ranked number 6 in the country. Overall record right now is 8-2. SEC play, they are 4-0. Their next game is tomorrow night at 6 against Georgia on the SEC Network. Plus, by the way, and of course, basketball had their red-white showcase tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Golf. Men's Blessings Collegiate versus Blessings Collegiate Invitational. Arkansas won after the final round was rained out because we finally got rain in the area today. They won after the final round was rained out. The women's was suspended due to weather, so we don't have a time for them yet. Tennis playing in the ITA All-American Championships in Tulsa today through the 8th. Women's are also playing in that championship at Cary, North Carolina. Today through the 6th. Also playing in the SMU Fall Invitational in Dallas on the 8th. Baseball. Razorbacks finished with the number 2 recruiting class in the country.
It's time. It's time for Dave to get one.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
That's the program's highest class in the 24-year history of Baseball America. One more note. Men's golf set a BCI 36-hole record with a score of 563. It is 13 under par. And the women's golf tournament for the day was canceled per the Hogs official website. That is all coming from our statistician, Loki DeWitt. And that is your other Razorback Sports update.
Appreciate the info there, Loki.
Yes, sir. Doing a great job, my friend. Doing a great job. All right, MC, we're going to wrap this up. Oh, man.
I have one more basketball note I want to throw out there.
Hit me.
And I'm gonna attempt to break my arm here.
Oh, yeah.
Pat myself on the back.
Can I do it too? Here, reach over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reach over here. Pat, reach over. There you go.
So we talked about this earlier in the night that there was no stream on the red-white game. According to the official Twitter account for men's basketball, there was no stream tonight. There will be a stream of the Purdue game on October 28th. And this is where Zach and I are patting ourselves on the back here, because we're taking credit, whether it's due to us complaining about it or not, we're taking credit for the fact that this year there will be a live stream of the Little Rock game. The game that's in Little Rock in December, right before Christmas, there will be live streaming coverage of that game. I don't even know who they play, but
I don't
it doesn't
care
matter.
who they play. It means
matter.
But
us sitting here and pissing and moaning and griping like the two old men up at the top of the Muppet set,
All right, which one are you? The long face or the beard?
Statler or Waldorf? Waldorf. I don't know.
I
Whichever
don't know.
one.
I can't figure out which one's which. So
I can't ever figure out which one's which either. But that, all of that pays off because now we've got streaming coverage of that game. So we're going to take credit for that.
Again, but again, I as we're wrapping up here, here's a nugget to think on for a week. Why now do you see War Memorial completely making over that stadium and painting it to look like the field at Razorback Stadium?
Right.
And why now all of a sudden do we get streaming from Simmons Bank Arena after all these years? Something I kind of feel like this is like the swan song for Little Rock.
Maybe so. Maybe
if
so.
you ask me. But again, putting all this money into it, I don't know. But I mean,
I'm just happy that they finally doing it because back in the day, Channel 7 carried several of those games.
ARSN.
Yeah, and when ARSN was still a thing, they carried several of those games.
Yeah, Paul Eels, Mike Nail was a radio guy.
Yeah, Sully and Paul Eels, and there was another guy that Blake Edens filled in. Scott Inman. Scott Inman. I like Scott. I worked with him a few times several years ago.
Scott's a cool dude. I like him. I miss him. I miss him on the football pregame show. Not saying that Phil's doing a bad job, but
right.
Something about that the Scott Inman's just that voice that he had. Just kind of, you knew when you turned the radio on and you heard Scott, it was game day.
Yeah. When I think of Phil, I don't think of the pregame. I think baseball.
I think baseball.
Yeah.
I think baseball. Hey, thank you everybody for coming out tonight and joining us.
We had a lot of people in here tonight.
We had a lot of people, and it was so much fun that we're going to do it again next week. Same hog time, same hog channel. And who knows what we're going to come up with next week. For Marcus MC Carlton, I'm Razorback Zach. You have been watching an all-new episode of Inside the Hog Pen. Until next time.
Yeah.
So long, everybody.